Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have another Clynche Art model to take a look at. I've absolutely been loving these Clynche Art models as we have been progressing through them, and we now have another really cool herbivore this time. We've had a lot of predators, a lot of carnivores, but this time we've got a herbivore as we have an Ankylosaurus. And it looks super nice. Definitely another fantastic model from them. I've already painted it up. If you purchased it, you would have to purchase the files and print it out and everything, or have someone print it out for you. But I've gone ahead, painted mine up straight away, rather than kind of reviewing it unpainted and then checking it out after once it's painted. But it looks really cool. Hopefully you guys will like my paintwork. Gave it kind of like a reddish sort of a coloration, almost like a Borealis pelta sort of color for it, because I felt like it looked really neat. So without further ado, let's jump straight to a closer look at it right now. So one of the things you might notice straight away about my Ankylosaurus is that it has a really strong glossy look to it, and that's because I painted it up to kind of look like it's in the middle of like a rainstorm. I definitely wanted it to look like it's raining, and you'll see that portrayed on the base as well. But I actually was pretty happy with that idea, because I often paint models up and everything, and I don't really give them kind of like a setting or anything. So I chose to do that with this one just to kind of differentiate it from other models that I've painted. So it does have a bit of a glossy look to it. But you can see as you begin to take a look here at the head sculpt, we've got some really nice fine detail to the Ankylosaurus. You can see the mouth is sculpted in an open position. Another reason why I felt like the rain thing was a pretty fun idea. I kind of wanted it to look like it just started pouring down rain out of nowhere, and our Ankylosaurus is not exactly happy about that fact. You can see again that the beak looks really good as far as the detailing goes. We've got the tongue there on the inside of the mouth. I don't know how good you could see it because the camera doesn't seem to want to focus on it very well. You can see the eye is sculpted out in there quite nicely. We have some very nice looking skin texture to the Ankylosaurus, also leading up here into the top of the head. Again, the skin texture looks really good up here. You can see the horns sticking out of the back of the head. They as well have some nice looking sculpt and detail to them. If we get a look here at the opposing side of the head, you can again see how good it looks with that mouth again wide open, looking just a little bit angry. And again, hopefully my paintwork looks okay on it. I was pretty happy with the way it turned out. As you lead back here into the neck region, you can continue to see how impressive the sculpt is. And in fact, that's probably some of the nicest looking skin texture I think I've seen on a Clynche Art model. It looks phenomenal as you lead back there. Well, as my camera loses focus, but as you lead back into the neck region, lots of creasing and skin wrinkles and stuff as you lead back. You can see the throat here on the underside of the model. Again, we're losing focus, but you can see the throat right there on the underside of the Ankylosaurus as well. As you lead back here into the body, of course, you start to pick up on the armored upper side to our Ankylosaurus, and that as well again looks phenomenal. Like, there's a lot of really nice, very fine detail to be found up here on the top of the Ankylosaurus. And of course you have all of those kind of armored sort of spikes moving down through the course of the back of the Ankylosaurus, and I tried to add quite a bit of color variation and everything up here, as well as again that gloss coat to it to really make it shine like it's genuinely wet, you know, like it's currently raining. And then as you look here at the side, you see all of the spikes and everything leading out of the side of the Ankylosaurus. Again, you can see all kinds of cracks and crevices and everything here moving along the spikes on the side of the Ankylosaurus. Obviously, they increase in size as you move toward the midsection and then decrease in size as you lead out into the tail. You've also got the legs sculpted out quite nicely. Definitely some very strong looking legs. As you can see, the muscle definition is very nicely displayed in this leg. You can see the elbow right there on the back of the leg. And then as you lead down, you've got a pretty nice looking foot sculpt as well. Nicely sculpted toes as well as toenails. And then as you lead back here along the side of the Ankylosaurus, you can see more of that really nice looking skin texture here, and again more of my paintwork that hopefully has highlighted the detail in a decent enough fashion. You've got some more skin wrinkles and everything here leading down along the underside of the Ankylosaurus. As you lead back, you can see this leg as well as nicely planted. And as a whole, the entire position of the Ankylosaurus isn't all that dramatic or that dynamic. You know, it's mostly just kind of standing here with some slight turns to the body. But you can see the muscle definition in the rear leg as well. And again, really nice looking skin texture moving down, nice calf muscle there on the back of the leg. And then you've got, again, a nice looking foot sculpt. And then as you lead out, you've got a nice turn here in the tail. You can see the tail is facing the dinosaur's right, and you can see how the skin is stretching off of the thigh right there as the tail has that nice sharp turn occurring to it. Also some more nice looking detailing, nice skin texture here on the underside. And then of course you have the club tail that we're all familiar with when it comes to an Ankylosaurus. And even the fine detail of the club tail looks really, really good, really quite crisp and vibrant. And then if we take a look at the opposing side of the body, again, you're not going to see much difference. You see the head's turned toward us, so you do see a little less of the neck region here of our Ankylosaurus. But as you move along, you again see that the legs aren't too far off as far as the positioning goes. They're almost in the same position as a whole. They both look just as beautiful, honestly, as they did on the initial side as far as the actual sculpt and skin texture and everything and the muscle definition goes. But as you lead out, you can see the tail is curved toward us again. Really nice pose for the Ankylosaurus without it being overly dramatic or crazy or anything like that. And you also have some fantastic sculpt and detail here on the underside as well. So the Ankylosaurus is absolutely awesome, and you can see it's quite small as a whole, so it's a very nice convenient size to add to your collection. And then we've got the base, and the base is pretty much that classic Clynche art style, as you have, again, the nice earthy area. You've got some footprints for your Ankylosaurus. Really impressive sculpt and detail in the earthy area. You can see all kinds of cracks and crevices. Probably some of the nicest detailing you'll see when it comes to a base and an earthy sort of a look to it that you see on Clynche art models. Like, it's always extremely, extremely impressive. And you can see I've added a little bit of water here just to kind of show like some puddles on the ground, obviously, for the Ankylosaurus and where it's standing. And then you have this like circular area here that kind of follows along. In fact, the entire thing is circular, but you can see that there's like this little area that follows along the outer edge of the base, just to add a little bit of like a more, kind of high quality professional museum sort of a look to it. And then we have the Clynche art logo on the underside. So really nice base to go with a gorgeous Ankylosaurus. And again, to apply your Ankylosaurus to the base, you basically just have to find the footprints, stand it in the footprints. It stands there very nicely. I always glue my Clynche art models to the base. I will do the same with this Ankylosaurus, but of course I wanted to wait until I was done with the review. It's just easier that way to review it. But as far as a size goes, again, as I said, pretty small. For a length, you were looking at about 4¼ inches or right around 11 centimeters, somewhere in that vicinity. And height-wise, the highest point is the club tail, a little over 2 inches, maybe heading toward 2¼ or just shy of about 5½ centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line next to our Clynche Art Ankylosaurus. And you can see, again, really quite small. And in fact, up until this point, I would say this is the smallest Clynche art model that I've reviewed here on my channel. There are some smaller ones we will get to very soon, but this is definitely the smallest so far with this Ankylosaurus. We've also got a size comparison here between the Clynche Art Therizinosaurus and the Ankylosaurus here, just to kind of show off how they size up next to each other. Obviously, our Therizinosaurus is quite a bit larger. And of course, the same can be said when it comes to the Clynche Art T-Rex and the Ankylosaurus, two very different sizes between these two, as our Ankylosaurus is obviously quite a bit smaller than the T-Rex. We've also got the Clynche Art Spinosaurus next to the Ankylosaurus, and at this point you can definitely tell, again, it's the smallest Clynche art model so far that I've had the pleasure of reviewing here on my channel. But for another comparison, and to give you kind of a better perspective of the size, here is a Takara Tomy Jurassic World style Stegosaurus next to our Clynche Art Ankylosaurus, and you can see they are very, very similar in size. So overall, I would say that this Ankylosaurus is pretty similar in size to what you would get when it comes to a Takara Tomy style figure, but a little bit bigger, definitely a little bit larger than what I would get with Takara Tomy, but not too far off. So this Clynche Art Ankylosaurus is absolutely beautiful, like every single model from Clynche Art always is. I really feel like they're probably one of the most underrated sculptors on the market now. You just don't hear enough people talk about Clynche Art, and I feel like their models are just so good, so highly detailed, and so impressive. He has a very good, healthy mix of kind of Jurassic Park style dinosaurs, more accurate style dinosaurs, and also just dinosaurs with his own personal touch. Like, there's nothing that's really off limits when it comes to the Clynche Art style. And this is an Ankylosaurus that I feel like has kind of a Jurassic World style look to it, but again, a little bit of just Clynche Art's own style added as well. And I think it looks great. They did a very good job as far as the sculpt, as far as the fine detail. It's extremely highly detailed, no doubt about that. Very impressive as always when it comes to the fine detail. Clynche Art goes above and beyond to give you an extremely highly detailed sculpt on your models every single time. Definitely the same case here with this Ankylosaurus. On top of that, the fact that it is a bit smaller is really nice and convenient. Definitely something that can fit into anybody's collection very easily. And of course, with the detailing being so good, it's also a lot of fun to paint. And of course, this is something that I painted. Hopefully the paint job looks okay. Hopefully it looks nice and natural on the model as a whole. I was pretty happy with it, and I don't often see Ankylosaurus specifically given kind of reddish tones, so I was pretty happy to give mine a little bit of a different look. So, again, if you are interested in picking some of these up, make sure you check the link in the description that I will include, because I will have links to pretty much everything when it comes to Clynche Art, where you can head on over and check out their social media accounts, join their Discord service, or of course purchase yourself some of the files to 3D print the Clynche Art models for yourself. One way or another, definitely worth picking up, so make sure you check all those links and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.